What are the best upcoming games to keep an eye out next year? Year in, year out, this is what you can expect. Hi folks, it's today on F Game Killer, 20 best upcoming video games landing onto future consoles, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC for 2020 as the year comes to an end. Make sure to let us know what games you'd like to try most and also share. Yeah, that's a good thing. Anyway, here's number 20. There's been little in the way of substantial news from Square Enix about Final Fantasy VII Remake since the last set of gameplay trailers, but that doesn't mean there's been nothing at all. And in fact, the game has taken the opportunity that is Halloween to show off a new look at one of the spookiest enemies within it, the Ghost. While the official account doesn't come right out and call this the game's Ghost, there's basically nothing else it could possibly be. You can check out the new look here. That's all. That's what they came out with. It features the ghost enemy that haunts the train graveyard in the original game. I think it's safe to say that these creepy creatures look better than ever in the upcoming remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake launches exclusively onto PlayStation 4 on March 3rd, 2020, and you can pre-order the game on Amazon right now.
Look!
President Shinra.
Now then, my dear sewer rats. Henceforth allies of wicked Butai, our sworn enemy.
Butai! The hell we are!
You still don't understand your role in this.
Marvel's Avengers won't arrive for another 6 months, but Crystal Dynamics has already offered some details on its features, including customizable abilities through skill trees, solo and co-op missions, unlockable gear, and outfits. The developers has provided a look at how some of that works in practice with a gameplay trailer for the action-adventure RPG. Also gives a glimpse of the story in which attempts are made to bring the Avengers back together, 5 years after they were blamed for an incident in which much of San Francisco was destroyed. Boy, you'll see. Marvel's Avengers will hit Stadia, PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on May 15th, 2020. Check it out.
As well as original new ones, narrative forward, and all of your hero's progress is shared across the entire game. Reassemble the Avengers and rebuild the team to be Earth's mightiest heroes once again.
Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthbound is Big Ben's action RPG of anger management set in a world of darkness shared by the Vampire the Masquerade games. We still don't know a huge deal about it, but thanks to the publishers, there is a reveal trailer to look at. Though it's all scene setting rather than gameplay, but it does show off what is presumably our biker-looking protagonist and his alternative both human and werewolf forms, as well as some of the high-tech exosuits we'll be smashing up in the name of saving the environment. It's not a huge amount to go, but with a release window of 2020, there's plenty of time for more info to be drip fed. We'll make sure to keep you updated. CD Projekt Red's highly anticipated Cyberpunk 2077 is no doubt going to move some units once it releases in April next year. It is, though, predicted to exceed 20 million copies within its first year of release. To give a bit of a context on how big of a feat this is, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt only managed to exceed 20 million copies 4 years into its release, and that title also picked up a Game Award of the Year. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077's been a long time in the making, with the very first teaser trailer of Cyberpunk 2077 popping up back in 2013. However, now that we are nearing the 16th April 2020 release date, there's hordes of information to release on the action-packed RPG ahead of its release. It will be a story-based RPG experience with amazing single-player throughout, but they're also going to add multiplayer features to it as well. And that's it.
A playstyle taking frequent advantage of stealth tactics, hacking, and battlefield control achieved using malicious software. Additionally, you'll learn more about Pacifica, one of the game's districts, 2 gangs, the Animals and the Voodoo Boys, and you'll see glimpses of Johnny Silverhand, the digital construct who haunts our main character, V.
Sony and Naughty Dog finally set a release date for The Last of Us Part 2 recently, and there was much rejoicing throughout the land. However, just weeks later, the two companies have decided that more time is needed after all. The follow-up has been delayed until May 29, 2020. Neil Druckmann, the director, acknowledged, "I know it was just about a month ago, but when we had our big blowout for the game. However, it was during the last few weeks, as we were closing sections of the game, that we realized we simply didn't have enough time to bring the entire game up to a level of polish we would call Naughty Dog quality, and that this new release date allows us to finish everything to our level of satisfaction while also reducing stress on the team," and all that stuff. So once again, the new date is May 29. Developers People Can Fly, creators of Gears of War Judgment and Bulletstorm, unveiled its last game, Outriders. Amid the torrent of announcements during the Square Enix E3 2019 briefing, this one is a dark sci-fi co-op third-person shooter that allows anywhere from 1 of 3 players to jump into its world. It is though unclear how far along Outriders is in development process. However, Square Enix did reveal a release window with more information slated to follow this winter. You can expect to get your hands on the game in the summer of 2020. In addition to that, Square Enix revealed that Outriders would release for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC, so keep it in mind. Tripwire Interactive have released a new developer's diary for their upcoming shock RPG Maneater. The new trailer, as shown, discusses the premise of the game and the creation of its environments and world. But for those of you still unfamiliar with this game, Maneater is a single-player action RPG set in the Gulf Coast's waters to fight to survive in an open ocean with dangers lurking at every depth, with your toes, which are your wits, and your jaws, and the ability to grow up and evolve as you eat. It's pretty interesting. Maneater doesn't have a release date yet, but it will be an Epic Games Store exclusive. Check it out.
So, just shrieks of terror. You get tired of it.
And the funny thing is, like, when you start out the game, you're kind of eating on, like, Swamp Bayou type people. But by the end, when you're Omega, it's like all the, like, super rich, luxury housing type people. So that's kind of ironically funny a little bit.
But the whole reason you're eating and you're growing and evolving is so that you can exact revenge on the evil Scaly Pete that scarred you as a young pup.
Coming up, Ghost Runner might not be released until 2020, but it's shaping up to be a pretty cool game. The gameplay, as said, should be around 5 hours. For now, it's only PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the game's still in an early development stage. Ghost Runner will be using Unreal Engine 4 and targets a 2020 release. From what we have seen, this feels like a mashup of Mirror's Edge with Dishonored and Blade Runner, but overall, Ghost Runner is a futuristic ninja action game from the developers One More Level, set to be released next year. On top of its dystopian cyberpunk setting, players can expect to experience its fast-paced parkour with RTX reflections. Take a look.
Prisoner termination protocol. Prisoner termination protocol initiated. Prisoner termination protocol initiated. Prisoner threat level extremely high. Prisoner released.
Free at last. Pleasure to meet you. Face to face, that is. Now, let's take a look inside. This may feel a little strange.
Doom Eternal was shaping up to be one of the best games of 2019, the combat felt just as good as it did in the original, and the new combat options are of course interesting and intuitive. Unfortunately, for one reason or another, Bethesda delayed our return trip to Hell into March of 2020, and it all happened nearly 4 months from its original release date of November 22nd. The announcement also highlighted an invasion mode similar to Dark Souls as a free update sometime later after launch. In addition, Doom 64 from 1997 will be distributed as a free pre-order add-on to Doom Eternal, also re-released on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Switch upon the game's release. The Nioh 2 release date and open beta dates are set, and all that remains now is to get a job and practice your money spending man's ship until they arrive. From November 1st to 10, you will be able to download Nioh 2's open beta from the PlayStation Store. You don't have to sign up anywhere. All players can jump up in and experience Nioh 2's character creator, environments, and new weapons like the new Switchglaive. The Nioh 2 release date, which is now officially March 13, 2020, was revealed along with a new trailer that teases the way you can embrace your character's corruption to pull off some heavy moves. And also, if you manage to complete the Nioh 2 open beta in time, you will earn the mark of the Demon Slayer, which will give you the Kamaitaki helmet in the full game once it comes out next year. With a release window of spring 2020, Dying Light could be considered a game that's floating a little bit under the radar. It will launch around the same time as Cyberpunk 2077 and The Last of Us Part 2, following its unexpected delay, but that doesn't mean the open-world zombie survival simulator is an undertaking you should pass on. In fact, following the evidence and the incredible experience that its predecessor had to offer, this is one you need to be keeping your eyes on. Honestly, hands down, Dying Light was the best game I ever played. The developer has already confirmed that it will be bringing Dying Light 2 to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Project Scarlet as a cross-generation release, and the plan since the beginning of production has been to make Dying Light 2 a cross-generation title too, so make sure to keep it in mind.
When you get put up with those even more difficult decisions and you don't know what effect that will have, like on the ripples on the world, that's super exciting.
Yeah. One of the big goals is actually how the players sort of like discuss their experiences and how their gameplay has been different in each playthrough, and then share it online and talk with each other and share their experiences. That was also a big part of it.
Yeah. And when you talk, like you actually mentioned each playthrough, can you talk about like the replayability factor?
Yeah, you can finish the game without seeing.
Halo Infinite, the flagship launch title for the next fall's next-generation Xbox console codenamed Scarlet, has remained rather quiet since E3. We did get a new cinematic trailer that showed off the power of Infinite's brand new Slipspace engine, but over the past 3+ months, nothing. Well, as the end of the year draws near, gamers look forward to 2020's biggest releases. For Xbox fans or fans of the first-person shooter genre, the upcoming Halo game from 343 Industries is one of the most anticipated releases. Based on what the developers have said, Halo Infinite will take the series in an entirely new direction. Come Microsoft's press conference at E3 2020, the final details are going to be unveiled alongside final details about the next set of Xbox consoles. Halo Infinite releases in holiday 2020 as a launch title for Project Scarlet. The game will also be available on PC and Xbox One. With a rumored budget of over $500 million, the game is rumored to be open world and is said to be the bigger and more expensive than any Halo game in the past.
I chose you because you were special. I knew we would be perfect together.
PlayStation 5 release date news is today headlined by the latest on whether Ghost of Tsushima could be a PlayStation 5 launch title after a rumored delay. The last time gamers got an official update on Ghost of Tsushima was back during E3 2018 when a stunning gameplay trailer was revealed. However, since then there's been radio silence, with fans left wondering when it could be getting a release. But now it looks like Ghost of Tsushima fans have been given a major update on when Sucker Punch's latest will be out. Ghost of Tsushima will get bumped later in 2020 and originally was planned for a release in the first half of next year. They added that PlayStation fans should not expect them to suddenly turn Ghost of Tsushima into a PlayStation 5 game as well. So, meaning if you got a PlayStation 4, you're gonna be fine. So keep it in mind.
Do you surrender?
Having the leader, Khoten Khan, be so, frankly, reasonable is unsettling. Because in his own mind, he's right. He's a hero from his own perspective.
Watch Dogs Legion is one of the 5 Ubisoft titles the company expects to take full advantage of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet in their launch window. Earlier this month, Ubisoft delayed the release of Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters and Rainbow Six Quarantine from its fiscal year to the next, starting April 1st, 2020, which it said would result in 5 AAA games releasing during that window. Apparently confirmed that all 5 titles will release for next generation consoles in addition to current generations. Watch Dogs Legion, the next game in the Watch Dogs series, which lets you take control of almost any APC in the game, had originally been scheduled to release for March 6, 2020.
Skills will be critical to your success. Each new recruit will make your team stronger. You can even customize your team members. There, what a lovely hat. Of course, accidents can happen. Don't worry. If you're smart, you could always surrender. No shame in that. Anyone got Sue's number? Luckily, our city is filled with millions of people, and any single one of them could be your next recruit.
Lost Soul-Aside has had an interesting history. It is essentially an action RPG inspired by the likes of Final Fantasy XV, and it began as a project developed by one man, and since then, Ulti-Zero Games is handling development and it's even part of Sony's China Hero project. Though it's good to know that the development team is still toiling away on the project. It has been a little over a year now since we last saw a new gameplay, but hopefully we should see and hear more about the game in the near future. Lost Soul-Aside is set to hit PlayStation 4 in the future, but there is still no specific release window for the game, so keep it in mind. Cygames hosted its traditional summer broadcast dedicated to the Granblue Fantasy franchise, and they're shared when we will hear more about the upcoming action RPG Granblue Fantasy Relink. They said they will announce more information on Granblue Fantasy Relink at Granblue Festival 2019, holding up from December 13 to 15 later this year. Though it was no big reveal for the game, but we hear that the team is working very hard on the game. Check it out. Whenever I hear something new about Biomutant, I can't help but perk up. Biomutant's been kicking around in various stages for years now, and in 2019 it still looks mighty ambitious. Developer Experiment 101 officially describes Biomutant as a post-apocalyptic kung fu fable RPG, and of course that's a mouthful. But it seems appropriate for the strange vibes I would say Biomutant kind of puts off, and from what I can tell, it's essentially an action RPG with an ambitious mutations system that changes the genetic makeup of your custom cat hero over the time. Biomutant is an open world, though it has a lot to tell. The game is currently set to release sometime in 2019, and that's not much to go, but that's as specific as publisher THQ Nordic has been so far, so make sure to keep it in mind. So, 7 years after the release of Serious Sam 3 BFE, Serious Sam is back with a bang and showcased a show trailer teasing the return of classic characters and signature Serious Sam gameplay. Currently, this game is not formally announced for any platforms, and really all that exists of it is some, to be honest, kind of unattractive pre-alpha footage. Not to mention, nothing is final in the pre-alpha build as well, but the series has a pretty good track record, so nothing to be worried about. It's in the works and we will likely hear about it soon, possibly even later this year. Arcane, the studio behind this Honored series and Prey, is back with a new game called Deathloop, which is apparently about 2 assassins attempting to kill each other and the targets while stuck in a time loop in a mysterious island known as Black Reef. Deathloop is being developed at Arcane's Lion Studio, and unfortunately we have no idea when it's coming out or when we might see more. But it's a nicely weird looking project that promises fights, supernatural powers and a strange new world to explore. The trailer here hopefully gives us a hint at the game's vibe. Check it out. Blizzard Entertainment announced today that the multiplayer beta for Warcraft Reforged is starting this week. It is a remake of the classic real-time strategy Warcraft 3 that came out in 2002, now earning fans some praise for its story-rich campaign, strategic multiplayer and modding community, giving players access to 2 of the 4 playable factions where you'll be able to compete. BlizzCon event and conference starts on November 1st at the California show and even possibly a release date. If you want some more videos, anything in particular, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Click like if you like this video, and if you're not subscribed yet, please do that already. We upload videos almost every day of the week. And the best way to see them is of course a subscription. So click subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video and I will see you here next time on FGameKiller.